Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Sajad Lakani. On behalf of Baqi Organisation, I welcome you all to this English segment of this evening's program. Al-Baqi Organisation is a United States-based organization. It was founded in 2009, but actually the work of Al-Baqi Organisation had started well before that. What does Al-Baqi stand for? Just to brief you, Al-Baqi Organisation stands for making sure that all the heritage sites are preserved, all the historical sites that belong to Shia Islam that has been desecrated so violently in Saudi Arabia and across the world, especially as you see the wars that are going on, that has been desecrated, and all the effects of the desecration on the Ummah has been terrible. So we wanted to make sure that our voice is heard, and our voice is not the only voice. We want to make sure that the whole global platform is created because of Baqi Organisation. Al-Baqi Organisation, after the destruction of Assyrian mosque came into action, we wanted to make sure that no more desecration of sites are conducted, no more violations of human rights are conducted, and we wanted to make sure that all the pilgrims that go and visit Al-Baqi Cemetery, Jannat Cemetery, and all the holy sites in Saudi Arabia, as well as across the world, are respected for their religious belief, not to be discriminated against, not to be brutalized, not to commit atrocities against. Al-Saud has created terrible atrocities on our women, children, and they have made sure that the guards and the people that stand there harass the pilgrims. So based on that, what we wanted to do was we wanted to make sure that this voice is heard across the world. And as you know, Al-Baqi was desecrated in around 1925, 1926, and we wanted to make sure that this voice is not silent anymore, because at that time, maybe there were some voices, there were some processions and everything, and some protests were made during that time. But unfortunately, when we started our organization, we made it a grassroots organization. This organization started in Chicago, Illinois, and we found out that the youth in our western part of the world had no idea what Al-Baqi stood for or Al-Baqi Cemetery was for. So we wanted to make sure that they knew. So we started a program where we created school reports, we created academic reports. We wanted to make sure that our youth are aware that there was a cruel event that happened about almost 100 years ago, and we wanted to make sure it's not repeated again. And because of the Assyrian mosque that happened recently, that was in 2005, we wanted to make sure that this is not repeated. So we made a pledge against all the people. We wanted to make sure that the voice is raised. However, Al-Baqi Organization realized that in order to protest against Saudi Arabia and against the lobby of Saudi Arabia, it was going to be very, very difficult. So we wanted to make sure that we attack all parts of the plan that we have. So we created a strategy. For example, we went ahead and we did the academics, we went ahead and we did the intellectual parts, we went ahead and we did the seminars, we went ahead and we held the protests. In fact, our annual protest that we do is Washington, D.C. in front of the Saudi embassy. That is a signature event that has been happening since 2007. And on that event, we wanted to make sure that it becomes national, because Al-Baqi's goal was to create a global platform. So we went ahead national. When we went ahead national, we created chapters in other cities. For example, like New York, New Jersey, Houston, Orlando, Dallas. We wanted to make sure that St. Louis, Minnesota, and Canada is also involved. So Al-Baqi Organization sent its representatives to them, and our aim was and to make sure that our aim and our vision is broadcasted properly, and that was to stop the desecration and destruction of any more shrines or mosques, holy places in other countries, especially Saudi Arabia, to make sure that all the atrocities are stopped, to make sure that all the human rights are observed at these sites for people, and women are allowed to enter and pray over there. Unfortunately, that was not happening, so we wanted to make sure that after the satellites are created, that they go ahead and they protest in their cities against the Saudi embassy. And we wanted to make sure that when that protest in the Saudi embassies happen, that there's some news coverage. So Al-Baqi made sure that we have a media release, press releases also. So in case if the viewers are wondering or are skeptical about this, we want to assure you that we are not going for only protests. We are also going for academics. We wanted to go book report. We went national. And then on top of it, then we realized that even if we go national, it is not raising the voice. The voice is not getting prominent enough. The voice is not getting recognition in the international world. I mean, Saudi Arabia has got a very strong lobby in this country, so they're oblivious to the fact of what we are doing as an organization. So then Baqi Organization, after the 501c3 in 2009, applied for an NGO status in the United Nations, which we got, alhamdulillah. We got a special consultative status in ISAC committee, which gives us the opportunity to hold seminars in United Nations. It gave us the opportunity to visit United Nations. So Al-Baqi in 2008, actually 2016, we started this conversation of creating an advocacy program that would put this significant event of destruction of shrines across the world and destruction of heritage on world platform or international platform. So Al-Baqi started a case against Saudi Arabia. We hired an international human rights lawyer. We went ahead and we recorded all the brutalities, all the atrocities that were committed. We got over 100 recordings of that, over 100 recordings. And we made sure that our attorney and our liaisons, they confirmed and verified each report that we turned in as an evidence against Saudi Arabia. We made sure that all the recordings were verified and they were signed by the people that made the recording of how they were brutalized, how they were attacked, and how they were injured during those things when they were visited Al-Baqi, so that they could just pray and pay homage. I mean, it is just a human right for somebody to go out there and go there and make sure that at least they can pray. All over the world, if you see other religious denominations, nobody stops them. Nobody, in fact, they're proud of their heritage. They want to make sure that their heritage is protected. They wanted to make sure their heritage is self-preserved. And you recently heard that there was a huge fire in Notre Dame. And what did they do? In 2 days, they raised $1 billion and they went ahead and created and made it better. Why? Why did they do that? Because that was a site very, very holy to the Christianity. Well and good. Don't you think that our sites are important to us? Don't you think that we should go to our sites? So I just want you to understand that it is a very, very emotional as well as a very intellectual program, and as well as a very part of thing that in our Shia belief is very important. Like right now, mashallah, I'm going to get back to the UN advocacy in a second. Right now, mashallah, I'm sitting in Karbala and we are recording this. I am sitting between Imam Hussein السلام and Hazrat Abbas السلام's shrine. And looking at the beauty and the splendor of what I'm looking at, it makes my heart full of joy. And at the same time, I am proud because I see hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands of people around here on a regular day, regular Thursday night, praying, supplicating, asking for the wishes. But nobody is talking loudly to them, nobody's harassing them, nobody's doing anything, and they're doing whatever they want. There's ample food, ample sleeping places for them. Mashallah, it is great. We want the same in Baqi. We want to restore and rebuild Al-Baqi's rosas, the shrines of our 4 Aimas over there. As you all know, Imam Hassan alayhi salam is there, Imam Sajad alayhi salam is there, Imam Baqi alayhi salam is there, and Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam is there. And all those 4 holy shrines, plus we have, according to some riwayats, Bibi Sayyida Salamullah alayhi is there too. So we wanted to make sure that those signs, and plus not only them, plus there are numerous personalities over there. There are the mother of, mashallah, Mawla Abbas alayhi salam's Bibi Ummul Baneen Salamullah alayhi is there, and the holy personalities that were close to the Holy Prophet were there, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what I'm trying to tell you is that this is not only about those 4 shrines, it's about the whole cemetery that has been destructed, and about Jannatul Mawla, where you know Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi salam is there, and Bibi Khadija alayhi salam is there. So what I'm saying to you is that don't we have the right to go there and pray there and supplicate there? don't we have the right to be in an environment that is peaceful and secure instead of having troops around there? Don't you think that we should be out there making our wishes and making sure that the holy places are awesome? I mean, just like Karbala, I mean, just like what we are witnessing over here, don't you think we should have that? I mean, as a person, I would love to see all the heritage get restored, get rebuilt, and the youth to know what their history is. Because our beliefs are attached to our history. Our beliefs are attached to the Holy Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and our holy Aimma. And we make sure that we make the connection with all the heritage sites and everything, and spiritually we are uplifted. So in order to make sure that this atrocities do not happen, we condemn this. We condemn any form of atrocity. We condemn any form of brutality against any religion, and we put letters of condemnation all the time. Getting back to the advocacy, United Nations advocacy, again, so we took this to the world platform, and then what we did was we attended a hearing. It was kind of where all the countries get together, and they go into the Human Rights Council, and then they go ahead and make sure that during the Human Rights Council, they list out whatever there is against the host country, they list out all the effects of it. So we went ahead and made sure that we listed out 3 major points: stop the desecration and immediately restore and rebuild Jannat al-Baqi and other holy shrines. Make sure that the women are not harassed and supplicated. Make sure there's no brutalities over there that are against the pilgrims that come over there. And that is not only for us, it is for all, because only Shias don't visit there. The whole Muslim Ummah visits over there. The whole Islamic Ummah is interested in that. So we went ahead and we put the case in there. And fortunately, we went to talk to the foreign countries, and the foreign countries that we talked to were some of like Brazil, Chile, Germany, Norway, and they were shocked to hear from us that these things are happening. And they said, wait a minute, these are the custodians of the Holy Two Sites. How could they destroy their own sites? They said, exactly, that's what we are trying to portray to you, that this has been happening for the last 95 years. So we want to make sure that now that we go ahead and we protest hard. So United Nations was very successful for us. In fact, they put it in their clause 24 when they released the report that Saudi Arabia should go ahead and take steps to rebuild and restore Al-Baqi Cemetery and the Holy Shrine and respect women's rights and human rights. So now we're going to go back again, inshallah, in 2-3 years, and go and again see if they have done what have they done and the response to it. Coming back to Karbala, I'm sitting in Karbala. Why we are in Karbala? We have a protest tomorrow, inshallah, on 8 Shawwal in front of Saudi Embassy in Baghdad. Okay, and we want to make sure that this protest, just like Washington, D.C., is heard loud and clear, that we are here at the doorstep. And the other thing is that we did have an event of Al-Hajj Basim Karbala'i yesterday on 6 Shawwal, and it was a huge success because we want to make sure that our cause is making inroads into all the Shia communities, especially first, because we also go into the other sects too, like our Sunni brothers and our Bori brothers and our other Islamic sects. But the first we wanted to make sure is that we get the Arab brothers, the Iranian brothers, the Persian brothers, all of us get together and raise this voice to a crescendo in 2 years, because in about 2 years we're going to have a 100-year anniversary of the destruction of Al-Baqi, and we want to make sure that about 1,000 cities in this whole world say their voice, bring the voice to crescendo at one time, so that the world media can look and say, hey, what is going on? Why are they raising the voice? All the people all over the world at one time. So we want to make sure, please raise your voice and say, Al-Baqi, Al-Baqi, rebuild Al-Baqi.